day that could be more harmless than that. A couple of kids around him recording, he's trying to get out, get the youth vote by showing, actually, I love Eminem's music too. But this really shook Eminem to his...
In the photo, Michael Jackson cradles his infant son, swaddled in a blanket. Moments later, he shocks the world by briefly dangling the baby over a balcony with one hand. Fans were aghast at the spectacle, and Michael eventually issued a public apology, admitting that he'd made a grave error in judgment. Years later, Eminem staged a similar stunt in Glasgow, this time with an adult. The scene wasn't just for shock value, it was a pointed reference to the infamous balcony incident. Fast forward to Eminem's new album, The Death of Slim Shady, where in the intro track Renaissance, he recalls this event as part of his ongoing commentary on pop culture scandals. This wasn't Shady's first jab at the self-proclaimed king of pop. Back in 2004, he released the controversial music video for Just Lose It, taking aim at Michael's appearance and the child abuse allegations that haunted his career. But what really hit home for Jackson was the closing shot, a parody of Michael sitting in bed, surrounded by children. The second verse shifts focus to another eyebrow-raising moment, the alleged incident in which Vanilla Ice was hung upside down from a balcony by his ankles. In true Shady fashion, Eminem weaves these stories together, holding up a mirror to the absurdities of celebrity life. The intro kicks off with a nod to Suge Knight, a towering figure in the gangster rap world. It then turns sharp as Slim Shady takes aim at a certain subset of hip-hop fans, those who seem incapable of simply enjoying music and instead spend their time nitpicking and complaining. Eminem also calls out albums that have sparked controversy within the community. For example, Kendrick Lamar's deeply personal And What Does Slim Love Most? Stirring the pot, taking aim at celebrities, and sometimes delivering direct, merciless disses. In this video, we'll dive into who faced the brunt of Slim Shady's wrath, especially in his latest album, The Death of Slim Shady. Stay tuned, because this ride is about to get intense. In a characteristic move, Slim Shady takes aim at actor Christopher Reeve, best known for portraying Superman in the 1980s. The actor's life took a tragic turn in 1995 when a horseback riding accident left him paralyzed from the neck down. Reeve relied on a ventilator to breathe and used a specialized device to speak, a deeply challenging circumstance. Shady, however, doesn't shy away from the subject. In one track, he references a fictional exchange where Reeve supposedly warns him not to talk behind his back. Shady, Reeve's passing became a barrier for the song's release, with Shady quipping that Reeve did it on purpose to derail their plans. This wasn't the first time Reeve's name had surfaced in Eminem's work either. Slim Shady had invoked the late actor over 40 times across various tracks, including I'm Back from the Marshall Mathers LP. For Shady, Reeve became a recurring reference point, both a symbol of controversy and a way to shock his audience. According to the storyline of this so-called feud, this wasn't the first time Christopher Reeve had supposedly threatened to settle the score with Eminem. This tension is brought out in the aggressive and spiteful tone of Slim Shady, who channels his anger into barbs not just aimed at public figures, but at those close to him. For example, Shady even makes the wild claim that he drugged singer Skylar Grey, a frequent Eminem collaborator and the haunting voice behind the chorus of I Need a Doctor. In his tirade, Shady even directs his fury at his longtime mentor, Dr. Dre, admitting, I just slapped Dre, don't tell me what I can't say. True to form, he also takes a swing at his own mother, questioning at the end of the track whether she's proud of him. A classic Shady move, stirring familial turmoil for dramatic effect. Adding to the mix, political activist Candace Owens enters the narrative. She posted a video last year blasting Eminem after he reportedly issued a cease and desist order against former Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy for rapping Lose Yourself at a campaign event. When Owens shared the video, she quipped on social media, Am I getting older, or is Eminem just getting weaker? Owens' polarizing comments and her association with controversial figures led to backlash, particularly from members of the Black community who accused her of rejecting her own heritage. Shady doesn't hold back on Owens either. He calls out a viral photo of her standing with Kanye West, describing her as a MAGA dirtbag in a skirt, sporting a White Lives Matter shirt. Owens later responded to Shady's digs, but here's where we let her own words take center stage. Her sharp retort speaks for itself. During a TMZ interview, Candace Owens delivered her response with characteristic sharpness, saying, "I could not have laughed harder when somebody sent this to me. I just think it is so lame." He's now cemented himself as a lame person. It just reeks of his, I'm calling this now his Hillary Clinton hot sauce moment. Like he's just so desperate to show black people that he's real. Eminem didn't hold back either. In the song Bad One, he fired back with the line, "This $1,000 in my hand is just like what Candace did when she turned her back on her own race, 'cause I've abandoned it." The exchange only added more fuel to the fire, highlighting the animosity between the two. Meanwhile, Diddy's life took a darker turn. A wave of lawsuits emerged, accusing him of trafficking and other serious allegations. The situation escalated with an FBI raid on his properties, revealing just how deep the trouble ran. Among the claims was one involving Cassie, who dated Diddy during a relationship reportedly marked by toxicity and abuse. A leaked video surfaced, allegedly showing Diddy attacking her at a hotel. Despite her attempts to break away quietly, she remained entwined in the turmoil. In the track, Antichrist, Eminem touched on these events, though things got even more provocative in Fuel. In this song, Eminem delivered one of his most startling lines to date, involving a wordplay about spelling out a derogatory term. He then linked Diddy to the tragic deaths of Tupac and Biggie, implying that both legends should still be alive. Eminem avoided directly beefing with Diddy, though, saying, "I ain't trying to beef with him because he might put a hit on me like Keffy D did him." Keffy D, of course, is the controversial figure who publicly claimed involvement in Tupac's murder, bringing an even darker undertone to the lyrics. Keffy D's controversial confessions have only added to the tension. He claimed Diddy offered him $1 million to have Tupac eliminated, an allegation that set the stage for even bolder accusations from Eminem. Before Keffy D's arrest, Eminem had already stirred the pot, insinuating that Puffy played a role in the legendary rapper's untimely death. When it comes to Shady's lyrical targets, Diddy frequently takes center stage. The inspiration for these shots might have stemmed from 50 Cent's numerous Instagram posts hinting at various scandals. In the track Bad One, Eminem pulls no punches, declaring, "Me offending you is nothing new. It's what I love to do. This is subterfuge just to screw with you, and yeah, this much is true." Shady paints the picture of an industry rife with deception and continues to fire direct hits at his favorite foe. One of the most eyebrow-raising references comes when Eminem mentions the sexual assault lawsuit linked to a 1990s party, which reportedly involved Diddy and singer Aaron Hall. Shady doesn't hold back, pointing to this dark chapter and the accompanying allegations. The drama doesn't stop there. In a jaw-dropping lyric, Eminem brings up Cassie's 2023 lawsuit against Diddy, which included claims that the mogul plotted to blow up Kid Cudi's car. According to court documents, Diddy allegedly wanted the explosion to happen while Cudi and his friends were at home. Not long after, Kid Cudi's car mysteriously burst into flames in his driveway. Eminem uses these real-life allegations to fuel his fiery verses, ensuring that no controversy is off-limits when it comes to his music. In the explosive track Houdini, Eminem references Megan Thee Stallion and the 2020 incident involving Tory Lanez, where she was shot in the leg. Tory's subsequent 10-year prison sentence marked one of hip-hop's most controversial moments. Stallion herself never publicly addressed Eminem's mention of the event, though she had previously shouted him out in her 2021 feature on Lil Nas X's track. As the song unfolds, a surprising turn occurs. Slim Shady directly calls out Eminem. In Guilty Conscience 2, Shady accuses Eminem of taking credit for his rise to fame in the early 2000s, an era when Shady's unbridled rage and outlandish antics made him a cultural phenomenon. Shady points out that Marshall tried to suppress him, diminishing his once unmatched fury and leaving some fans feeling let down. The result? Shady claims that today's Eminem is a pale shadow of his former self, paralyzed by fear, no longer the audacious force he once was. This isn't the first time Marshall has taken shots at himself. On Not Afraid, he admitted to self-deception, acknowledging that his proclamations of being the king weren't entirely truthful. Yet his most publicized feud remains with Machine Gun Kelly. Despite MGK's claim that Kill Shot was more of a leg shot, Eminem doubled down in Bad One, reminding everyone that he considers the matter settled. MGK was buried, end of story. Through these layers of self-reflection, high-profile feuds, and cultural commentary, Eminem continues to blur the lines between his many personas, leaving listeners to decipher who's truly pulling the strings. The tension with Machine Gun Kelly dates back to 2018, but the feud refuses to die down. Just last month, a popular reactor, Screwface Gene, revisited the beef during a reaction to a music video. He acknowledged that Eminem ultimately won, but also gave MGK credit for holding his own in the battle. Race played a role in his ranking. Eminem, no stranger to controversy, fired back in the track Realist. He wasn't shocked by Mel Mel's comments, but he firmly rejected the notion that his skin color was what held him back from reaching the #1 spot. He addressed Mel Mel directly, making it clear that he wouldn't let such remarks define him. Just days later, Mel Mel released his own diss track, Kickback, aiming squarely at Eminem. Instead of fueling a heated rivalry, the song became the subject of ridicule among hip-hop fans. The backlash prompted Mel Mel to issue an apology, acknowledging that his remarks had been poorly thought out and promising to own up to his mistake. While the diss track fell flat, the back and forth underscored just how polarizing Eminem's legacy remains in the hip-hop world. Eminem's fans remain steadfast in their support, demonstrating their loyalty and appreciation for his artistry. Their unwavering dedication is a testament to the profound impact he's had on the hip-hop world. Eminem, for his part, acknowledges this backing while continuing to hold firm to his own legendary status. While Mel Mel later clarified that his earlier comments about Eminem's success were a misguided attempt at competitiveness, Eminem felt no need to regret his own response. He views himself as a peer to Mel Mel, both rap legends, each in their own right. In this album, Eminem also revisits some familiar names. For instance, he references Kurt Cobain, using his life as a metaphor in a controversial line. Still a great prick, but the same way Cobain put the gauge to his brain, I'm going out with a bang. While not intended as a direct diss, it's another example of Eminem's tendency to weave real-life figures and moments into his lyrics. This mention follows years of similar references, demonstrating his consistent blending of cultural commentary and personal reflection. Eminem also takes aim at Kanye West, referring to him as insane and likening him to a space cadet who forgets to take his meds. The line is both biting and indicative of Slim Shady's trademark irreverence. This album, partly produced with longtime collaborator Dr. Dre, is another chapter in a partnership that has shaped modern hip-hop. To dive deeper into the story of Eminem and Dre's friendship, check out the video on our channel and let us know what you think of the album in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. See you soon!